I'm just gonna stay in here all night like this. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me if I go like this? That's good, okay. Okay, I'll start. Spacebar? Okay, so my little 6-year-old daughter, Amelia, told me that if I was feeling a little bit nervous tonight, that I should just imagine that all of you have rubber chickens on your heads. So right now you all have rubber chickens on your heads, so I'm feeling good. So tonight I'm gonna be talking to you about going from me, are you sure, okay, to yes. So my husband and I got married, and quickly we had 2 little girls and decided that I was not gonna go back to work. So I realized that there was this whole world out there that I didn't know existed. This is my little baby. So I had 2 little babies, both really good sleepers, sweet little angels, and being a mother I thought was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. So I was getting a little bit bored. So I told my girlfriends, and they said, I know what you need to do. You need to start scrapbooking. So I said, okay. So I got the girls, and I headed to Michael's, and I loaded up my cart with cool stickers and double-sided tape and scissors, and I really got into scrapbooking, and I really loved it for about a week. I noticed that the Waterloo Regional Block Parent Program was looking for directors to sit on their board of directors, but I'd never sat on a board of directors before. I had no idea what to do. So I thought, okay, sure, I'll just sit here and be quiet and learn. After a few months, I suppose, the directors looked at me and said, would you like to be the vice chair? I'm like, the vice chair? I don't even know what that means. So, okay, sure, yeah, okay, I'll be the vice chair. Sounds good. Oh, look at, I need my notes. So the same thing happened when I found out that the Allison Neighborhood Community Center was looking for directors. So I thought, okay, good, I can finally just sit here and learn. And after a few meetings, the chair resigned, their chair resigned. So they all looked at me and said, hey, Tara, do you want to be the chair of the board? This is like a month later. Sure, okay, sounds good. The same thing happened when I called the Blair Road Neighborhood Association to see if they had a mom and tots program for my daughters and myself. Well, after a few meetings and a few phone calls, I became the chair of that board as well. I went to a camp alumni event that I used to go to this camp here, and I was talking to the coordinator about wouldn't it be good to get more people involved. So she said, I know what you can do. You can create a camp reunion for about 100 people. And I'm like, oh my God, sure, okay, I can do that. Well, this kept happening. So it happened with Leadership Waterloo Region, with their Youth on Board program, with their community development program, which I joined. And after 8 months of being in that program, my classmates decided that I should be one of the valedictorians. I'm like, oh my God, a valedictorian, me? I'm like, okay, I've never been to university. I've never had a high-paying corporate job. Why do people keep asking me to do this stuff that I don't know what I'm doing? And the same thing happened when my neighbors, who I have the utmost respect for, asked me to lead them to go to City Hall and work with City Hall to come up with a new design for our reconstruction on our street. I was also pretty overwhelmed and kind of unsure of myself when I became a director on the National Block Parent Program, and also feeling pretty unsure of myself when Niagara College asked me to facilitate a community talk and tour to show their students what the neighborhood association model was all about in the city of Cambridge. So this world that I became to know was called community. But you know, I was born in the 70s and I went to school in the 80s, and we didn't have to do 40 hours of volunteer work like you guys had to. So I mean, I really had no idea what community was all about. But I started to realize that these people in the community kept asking me to do stuff. I think they thought I was really experienced and that they thought I had some skills, but inside I felt very insecure, and I felt like I really wasn't smart enough to do these things that they thought I could do. Hang on a sec. Can I pause? Pat Singleton from the Self-Help Food Bank, she nominated me to be a Woman of Distinction Award like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. So she kind of took me by the shoulders and she shook me and she said, Tara, stop doing this. Like, you are good enough. You are a community member and people should acknowledge you. So a few days later, I had to co-facilitate a leadership workshop. How I get into these things, I don't know. But the workshop was all about the reputation gap, which is the difference between how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. And obviously, there was a huge gap between how I felt about myself and how others thought about me. But then I said to myself, why don't I start acting like the way people think I am? If I start acting confident, I will be confident. So now when people in the community ask me to do something, I say, yes, I can do that. And now I feel a lot more confident and a lot more secure in myself. And that's why a week and a half ago when Sandra Peltier said, would you like to speak in our Ignite pop-up event? Instead of going, oh, me, I'm not sure, I just said yes. And so here I am. Thanks.